Hello, people. So I watched every single Illumination movie so you don't have to. Why did I do this? So I can find a valid reason to hate on Illumination. Was it worth it? No. But when I found out that it was not worth it, I was already on to their second to last movie. So I was like, what the heck? I might as well just finish the whole list of movies so I can at least make a video out of it. So Illumination. Pretty much everyone's least favorite animation studio. For one reason, commercialism and merchandise. So, it's no secret that Illumination makes a lot of movies that make a lot of money. So, do you want to know what they do with that money? Do they use it towards their movies and make great animation, a great crew to make great movies? No, because that would put in effort. And why put an effort to a animation studio that is solely made to make money? So they usually use that money to make commercials, make merchandise, and to really just spread the word that their movie's coming out. And also they use it for voice cast celebrities, so they can make people watch their movies. That's pretty much why everyone hates Illumination. And what do I think about them? I hate them too. And not just because they use their money for commercialism and for merchandise. I hate them because they have so much potential that they don't use. This animation studio has so much potential to make great, extraordinary movies, like Sony, what they're doing right now. Have you seen what Sony's doing? They're making great movies like Spider-Verse and Mitchell's vs. the Machines. And that was this movie animation studio that made the Emoji Movie. And clearly Sony is on a rise to make great films. Illumination, on the other hand, I doubt they're ever going to be able to make great movies, great masterpieces. Only for one thing. Every single movie that they make a lot of money. So until one of their movies bombs at the box office, they're never ever going to change their ways to make great films. And that just boggles my mind because they have the talent. They have the talent to create great films, to create masterpieces, to create extraordinary films, and to be one of the best animation studios out there. But then they just use their money to make commercials and to make merchandise and to cast celebrities. That's pretty much it. And it's just, I really, really wish that Illumination could use their money for the better. But they're never going to, because every single movie they make is going to make a lot of money. Because for some reason, because they're using all that money for merchandise and commercialism, so they're going to use almost nothing to create the actual movie. Have you seen their budgets for the movies? They're down there the 50 million, 60 million. They're very cheap, while Disney and Pixar are making movies that are worth $200 million. They cost a lot. And while Illumination's over here making, 60 million, 50 million budget movies, and they're getting $1 billion at the box office, which just makes me mad because I want to see them fail. I know that sounds very messed up, but I want to see them fail. I want to see them bomb at the box office so it can actually change their movies for the better. So that's pretty much a rant already about Illumination, which there's going to be a lot of rants all along the way. Get ready for the Minions section because I'm going to let loose on Illumination. But yeah, let's start from the beginning and pretty much their peak and their sudden downfall at the same time. Despicable Me. When I saw the trailer for this movie about 12 years ago, oh my god, time goes by fast, right? Am I right? But when I saw this trailer for this movie 12 years ago, I thought it wasn't really going to be that good. It just didn't look that good to me. It just looked like a generic movie. But it was actually pretty good, which surprised me. I thought it was very heartwarming, and I thought the characters were very likable. The minions I could have dealt without, but they gotta have some way to make money, right? They gotta get the mascot of the studio, So this so Despicable Me was a good start for this animation studio, and I was like, whoa, this animation studio could actually have a lot of potential. This studio could make great movies. But little did I know that it would make too much money. And I didn't know that would be a thing. I think that, well, you want your movie to make as much money as possible. But the success of Despicable Me caused the downfall of Illumination itself. Because they found out, like what Shay Frillis said in his rant about Ralph Breaks the Internet. Illumination doesn't have to try anymore when they found out that they're going to make a success either way. They can make uninspired movie after uninspired movie, and it doesn't matter. They're going to make a good profit on the movie. And it all started with Despicable Me, because you could tell in this movie had a lot of effort. It had a lot of effort into the story. It had a lot of effort into the characters. You can tell that they really wanted to make a good movie with Despicable Me. Sorry. But then again, when they found out that they can just make movies they can just make uninspired movies, then they'll still get like a profit out of it. They're like, well, we don't need to put effort into the movies. Just use all of our money on merchandising, and we'll just get a lot of money back. So, I liked this movie, and I thought it was a great start for Illumination. This was the peak and the downfall of Illumination. And I want to see how bad this animation studio fell. Starting with Hop. Now, Hop, I do believe they still had a little bit of effort into it. I still think this was not a good film, but it was still, you could tell they at least had some effort into it, because, man, there's not a lot of Easter movies out there. And they took a risk by making an Easter film, which is ironic, because Easter came out like a few days ago. Well, Easter happened a few days ago when I'm recording this. But moving on, Hop, very forgettable movie. I mean, I guess I liked it. I mean, it's a decent film. The story was simple but effective, I guess. I really don't have a lot to say about this movie. I mean, the characters are fine, the story is fine, everything's pretty much fine. A decent 6 out of 10 movie. I was like, okay, maybe this might be just a little. This might just be they're taking their time. Illumination is taking their time to make great films. Like they're gonna have uninspired movie once in a while. They're not gonna have a perfect movie every single time. They're not gonna make perfect movies throughout their whole catalog. But little did I know that Illumination would just go on a deep downfall after this. Starting with the Lorax. Oh boy, the Lorax. AKA, lol, let's just make let's put a pop song into the Lorax every 5 minutes. Oh boy. And also they cast, this is the first movie that they actually cast celebrities, which was a sign for how bad the studio is going to become. So the Lorax, it wasn't really good. I'm pretty sure you've heard this a million times, but it was uninspired. It was a pretty bad movie. And I was pretty much just bored throughout watching the movie. Didn't care about it. I guess the Lorax was really funny sometimes, I guess. Of course, he was voiced by Danny DeVito, which was awesome. I thought that was a great fit. But then again, the movie was terrible. I didn't enjoy it. It had generic characters, a pretty bad storyline, and frankly, forgettable songs. Well, not all. All of the songs are bad. I mean, some of the songs slapped, But then again, this was like a 4 out of 10 movie. And I was like, well, every animation studio makes bad movies. I'm pretty sure though, I was like, I'm pretty sure they can regain themselves and make great movies. Oh boy, how optimistic I was about this animation studio and how disappointed I would be going forward. Despicable Me 2. This is a movie that I actually enjoyed. Like, I enjoyed Lucy, the new character. Of course, I enjoyed Gru. I enjoyed his daughters, Agnes, Margot, and the other one. I'm sorry, I don't remember. I, I can't can't remember it. Well, moving on, the daughters. The daughters are very charming and nice. They're nice characters. They're nice, wholesome characters. And the addition of Lucy was actually really fun. I thought she was funky and she was a nice character. And also the storyline about Gru becoming lonely was a good storyline. I know it was kind of recycled from the first Despicable Me, but I think it served this part into him wanting to find love in his life. So overall, I enjoyed this film. I thought it was fun. I thought it was really good. It was definitely not on the same level as Despicable Me, not by a long shot, but it had its charm. And I thought, okay, the studio is regaining itself. I thought it was doing really well at the time. I was like, maybe those two mediocre movies are going to be put behind us, and they're going to be going straight into the future with great films. But then came, oh, here we go, Minions. I freaking hate this movie. This is another example of why you don't put side characters as the main characters. It failed in Cars 2, and it failed in this movie. I hated every character. I hated every character in this movie. I guess the new villain of the movie was decent. I didn't really. I thought she was just completely artificial and hollow. And of course, the minions, they don't speak, they just make sounds. So that got on my nerves. Also, it was just so boring, and I don't know what to say about this movie. I just hate it. Like, everything about it is terrible except the animation, and the animation was actually pretty good. So this movie it was just bad. It was just plain on bad. Of course, the merchandising and the commercialism was bad, but the movie itself, so boring, so uninspired. Just, ugh. I just didn't like this movie. Obviously, a 3 out of 10 movie, and probably the worst movie they've ever made. And I was just like, I was just so disappointed when I saw this movie. Like, obviously, my expectations were low, but the fact that Illumination would go this far to even make a movie about the Minions, yikes. Yeah, this movie was just bad. I hate it, and this movie represents Illumination itself. Illumination. Why do you do this? Why just want to make money? Why can't you just, like, actually make good movies? Why can't you make great, inspiring, awesome movies they'll become classics forever? Instead of just, ruining the movie. Instead of just, making a movie just to get some money. And of course this movie did well and made $1 billion at the box office, which was awesome. So, yeah, I didn't like this movie. I don't think anyone liked this movie. I hope this movie gets forgotten, and I hope the Minions die. Oh boy. The Secret Life of Pets. Yet again, another boring movie. I know a lot of people claim to be a ripoff of Toy Story, which I see the similarities, but I didn't really care about it. I'm like, well, Illumination's already made bad movies, and of course they're gonna make similarities to another movie. They're gonna try to, I wouldn't say rip off, but try to copy. How am I say this? Try to be the same as another animation studio by, like, copying Toy Story. And so this movie, uninspired as usual. The characters were all bland. The story was boring. I fell asleep the first time I watched it, and I almost fell asleep watching it a few days ago. Of course, this movie did well at the box office because, ooh, cute pets. Ooh, cute, funny pets. I mean, it wasn't that bad. I mean, there was funny jokes, but obviously all the jokes are put in the trailers, so, yeah. So, another uninspired movie, and is going to continue with Sing. Now, Sing, it's pretty much just, lol, let's put every single celebrity into this movie and just use 90% of our budget for celebrities. And I thought this movie's going to be god-awful. And to be surprised, it wasn't. Don't get it twisted. I mean, it's still not that great. But, it had its charm. I mean, the characters were all kind of generic, but I did like a few characters. Like Jonathan Johnny. He was the gorilla. He was pretty cool. I liked the story and his character arc. Ash was a good character. The Rosita, I think her name is. She was fine. Buster Moon as the protagonist. I mean, he did make a lot of baffling choices, but I didn't hate him. I was like, okay, he's a character. That is a character. But other than that, the final act was really well done. I thought the final shows were awesome, and the pop songs they chose were not terrible. So it was a refreshing look on Illumination that didn't make a terrible movie. If I'm sounding not that great, I don't talk. When I talk for a long time, I start to, I'm just not good at talking for long periods of time. So moving on, Despicable Me 3. Again, another uninspired movie. I mean, the villain was very fun. I liked the vintage, villain movie. Let me restart. I liked that he was a actor for a vintage TV show. I liked how he was a villain for a vintage TV show. After his TV show got canceled, he became a villain in real life. I thought that was very compelling. But other than that, this movie is just full of filler. And, the characters, I like all the characters. Drew was honestly annoying. So, moving on. The Grinch. Full of filler. Just full of filler. Another uninspired movie. The animation's good, I guess. I was just bored throughout the entire experience. I guess when the Grinch stole Christmas, it was fun to watch and it was fun to look at, and it was very creative at that point. But then again, it's pretty much just filler of the movie throughout the first two acts. So moving on, The Secret Life of Pets 2, uninspired yet again, and obviously it was full of filler, just like the first movie. I really do not know what to say about this movie. It's just another example of how Illumination is uninspired and a terrible animation studio. So moving on. And their final movie up to date, Sing 2. I wanted to hate this movie. I really did. Trailers made it look awful. And I really wanted to hate this movie. I wanted to. But no, this movie was on par with the first. It was okay, I guess. I mean, the characters were all charming and likable. And the final act was really well done, just like the first movie. So it was on par with the first movie. I didn't hate myself while watching it. I liked the villain. I just like how obnoxious he was. Of course, her name Portia, I think was. Yeah, I didn't like her. But at least it was just one bad part of the movie. There a lot of parts of it was stupid, and a lot of parts of it were pretty bad. I get that, but it's Sing 2. Lower your expectations. You'll probably have a good time with this movie. And that's it. That's all the movies up to date. With their latest movie coming out, which is going to be Minions: The Rise of Gru. From what the trailers say, it looks like it's going to be another uninspired movie. But who knows? Maybe they can turn the ship, and maybe they can surprise me. I mean, the movie looks very uninspired. The movie looks boring. The characters themselves, the new characters into the movie are not going to be that look forgettable. And even though Gru's in the movie, which I like Gru, I don't think I like Kid Gru. It just looks a little bit obnoxious, and also the jokes from the trailers make it look just cringy. So I don't have a lot of hope for that movie, but it could blow me away. So what I learned from Illumination is that it's a very uninspired movie, uninspired animation studio. Sorry, and it's a very bad animation studio, like everyone says. And I wish they could just use their money for the better and put effort into their movies, because their movies they should be good, because they're making a lot of money with those movies. They should put all those $1 billion they have into their movies. They should put them into making $200 million budgets, or something like at least $100 million budget, and make great animation, have great storytelling, great characters, all that. I wish they could do that, but they don't, because they only care about money, and I'm just so sick of it. I want them to do good things with their money, but they don't. They just use it on merchandise and they use it on commercialism, which boggles my mind. And do I think they're going to change? No, because all their movies, for some reason, make $1 billion at the box office, or at least a half of $1 billion. They make so much money, and I'm sick of it. I want them to fail so they can actually use their money for the better, and to learn that we want to see effort from this movie, from their studio. We're not asking to make we're not asking them to make masterpieces every single time. We're just asking them to put effort into the movies. Look at Sony. They're putting effort into the movies now. That's a studio that put not a lot of effort at all in the past. Like, a lot of their movies were terrible. Like the Open Season franchise, or a little bit of Hotel Transylvania, or the Emoji Movie. Stuff like that. They did not put any effort into some of those movies. But then now they're actually letting the talented people do their thing, and now look at them now. Spider-Verse came out being a masterpiece. Mitchell's vs. Machines, a masterpiece. And it looks better than ever. I mean, the sequel looks amazing for Spider-Verse. And you know why all their movies are starting to go up, and Sony's starting to have a rise of quality? Because they're letting the talented people do their thing. They're giving effort. They're using their money they can make from those movies, and they're putting them into their movies so they have great animation, great characters, great storytelling, all that. So that's the reason why Sony's starting to become one of the great studios out there. And I might make a rise of Sony, which that'll be less negative and be more positive, because of course Sony's on the rise right now. But I wish Illumination could do the same thing, because they have so much potential to become one of the great animation studios out there. They have the potential. They have the money, but they don't use their money for effort. They use it for money. They use it for commercialism and merchandise to make more money. I hope something changes. I hope that they do better with their money, and I hope they turn their studio around and become a great studio. But with that new cast of the Mario movie, with Chris Pratt being Mario, what the heck was that? With pretty much with Keegan Michael, whatever his name is, as Toad, with you know those casting, and I'm just like, what are they doing with that cast? And the Mario movie is gonna look terrible, and is probably going to be terrible. While the Sonic franchise is the new Sonic movie, like, of course, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 just came out a few weeks ago, and that was great. And of course, the last movie, while it wasn't as great as the second one, it was still pretty good. And that franchise is looking better than ever. That the casting of the Mario movie made by Illumination just looks awful. And I'm not excited for that movie. Alright, so there's a rant of Illumination Studios. I know this video is probably not gonna be that good because I just rambled on, and I do stutter a lot, so sorry for that. But yeah, those are my opinions on Illumination. I'm gonna start doing, downfalls of animation studios. Like I'm probably gonna do one on Pixar, and people are saying like, well, Pixar didn't have a downfall. Oh yes, they did. Oh yes, they did. Look at the 2010s. And also, I'm gonna do a video on the resurgence of Disney and how they became from being a very disappointing animation studio in the 2000s, becoming one of the best animation studios out there in the 2010s. And yeah, this is pretty much gonna be my new direction of my YouTube channel. And I'm starting changing my name of the YouTube channel because obviously I'm not a meme guy anymore. I'm not gonna be posting memes anymore. So yeah, I'm enjoying making these videos, and I hope you guys are gonna enjoy my videos too. So I hope you all have a great day. Have a good one. Have a good one.